Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trendy Trading. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to first cover the ES futures. Then I'm going to take you into the SPY, the Qs, Apple, Square, TIGR, then FUBO, and then we'll top it off with a little bit of FANG. We had projected already about 2 weeks out, I believe. Matter of fact, 2 weeks out, right around this green box that we were looking for a move into the projected move of the red box here in the ES. And then I'm going to take you over into the NASDAQ and show you the same thing that's going on there and what you can expect in the Qs. ES futures, where are we? On the left, we have the weekly. On the right, I'm using a 4-hour. Let's go ahead and start there. Overall sentiment, you could see, is right here on my banners. These are programmed basically to look for ranges and percentages and so forth, and what I consider to be either an up, neutral, or downtrend. Everything's right here on the screen for me and for you. Overall sentiment for the ES for the weekly, extremely bullish, yearly, extremely bullish, and of course, the monthly is extremely bullish. We are working with an inside and up. The projected move after we took out this pivot high is a breakout into at around that psychological level of 400. That puts us pretty close to the SPY of 400 as well. The ES is 10 points equals $1 in the SPY. If my projected move is close to 4,005, you could do the math here, 3982 into 4,005, and that gives you a nice estimate of how much the SPY could move into my target, roughly about $1.25, $1.30 in that range, okay, before we see our first target in the SPY. Notice that the line in the sand is 39.60. Now I want you to take your eyes and move them over here into the 4-hour. Notice that we had a buy signal come off the line in the sand last night. Price has moved into yesterday's pivot high. You can see that here. This is an important level. Bulls on the intraday do need to take this out, retest, make higher highs, and then we should be able to find that 4,005 pretty quickly. If for some reason price were to fall back to the 9 EMA, back to the green arrow, back to the line in the sand, there are 3 lines of confluence here, and we have an inside and up. I do expect buyers in there. So far as today's expiration on the SPY, because again, these are correlated, the downside range, I'm looking at around 39.66, and to the upside, I'm looking for 4,005. Anything to the upside over 4,005 is just a bonus, and as we move quicker into 40.52. Anything underneath this blue line, I would be looking for a reclaim after about 30 minutes or so. I'm not really interested in getting short in the market unless for some reason we start to ask or go bid underneath 39.30. Okay, so again, 39.30, this is my key level for anything to go south. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I want to show you really quickly, although I did not put it in text, that NASDAQ. All right, so correlation, we are trading the Qs off of this chart here. So this has been a little bit different. It's been taking its time, but we've been bullish on the Qs for quite some time. If you didn't get to see my review on Tuesday, I continued to tell everybody we are looking for rotation into tech. We were looking for this 2 weeks ago. It's finally coming, and the reason why I say that is quite simple. If you notice, we have a rounding bottom. Any lines that you see on my screen are trendy edges, these colored ones, okay? So we see that we have support down here at our level, and that's what we're looking for. We have the green box, all right? And basically on a long-term trajectory, we are looking for price to move from the green box to the red box. It's that simple. However, we understand that the journey from the green box to the red box is not simple. So therefore, we use targets and resistance lines from our journey from green to red just to kind of help you along. So we are in the Qs. I went over this 2 days ago. I am looking for price to move closely up to 13,457. Today, bulls need 13286. Okay, right in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and put an alert here. And the reason why I'm using that is because if you look to the left, we have a pivot there. And what we want to see is the next higher high above this pivot. Again, that's your target right here, 13285. It says 0.89. Let's just round it to 13286. Okay. This is roughly about 41, 42 points to the upside, equals $1 in the QQQ. All right. And again, I am holding about, I think we have 24 days or so out on the Qs. All right. All right. So next one, or next pattern I'm going to show you is this rounding bottom. This is a very important pattern. As long as my green box is holding, which we identified like over a month ago, okay, as long as we are making higher lows out of this, that's the important part of this. And again, you get that rounding bottom. Once we take out that next pivot high, then you get that trend break. Okay, so today's whole thing is the market trending, right? Does one day translate to trending? Not necessarily. And I'm going to go into some stocks here in a minute and just kind of show you. Of course, the SPY is trending. It obviously is at all-time highs and so forth. But there's some names out there you might be surprised. They haven't quite started to trend yet. All right. All right. Let's go into the SPY. Now this one I call the neutral strategy. We keep it really simple. The neutral strategy I've gone over several times here live. We make it really simple. I go long over the top line of the neutral, okay? And we create these charts over the weekend. So all of our members have these before the market actually gets here. That's what really defines us, is we use a lot of projection using trend, we use supply and demand, we use trendy edges, we use EMAs to stay in the trade. It's all the same thing, same process, rinse and repeat. All right. So as you can see here, price has moved over the neutral. And right here, we're looking around this 398.17. If we could trigger this again, I'm looking for that level of 400. Anything above that, we do have some Fibonacci extension levels, 401.24, 403.33. Over here on the weekly, looks a lot like the ES. You can see that inside and up over the ME, looking for a move again into these levels. All looks well here. One thing that I do want you to note, next time you feel as if the market's going to crash, or you start to get concerned, or you're following people out there that tell you if the market or if price falls under the 9 or the 8, worry. I'm not saying you shouldn't worry. What I'm going to tell you is that you need to go back and just study history. What we are seeing on the 9 EMA is a flush of the 9, but by the time the end of the week closes, it is above. So I have not been closing out longs because of a flush under the 9. I simply just kind of take my foot off the gas pedal, go a little bit smaller, and allow price to move back up off of that 9. Very important. So far as today is concerned, what I'd be looking for on a daily expiration is that 400. I expect 3966 to hold. So if you're looking for a two-way trade, I like 396.66 to the downside, and I like to the upside that 400. Let's go ahead and move on to the QQQs. Same thing here. We have what's called the neutral strategy. Again, I can't make this stuff up. We push this out to our members over the weekend. We even give them a link that puts these levels on their chart. Notice here, again, rounding bottom just like the NASDAQ, of course. We are trying to make those higher highs. You notice that we go long over the neutral. This is your target 1. So what do you do when you hit a target? Well, any line that I have above is resistance. You look to trim. Okay. When the market opens, what we want to see is that this level can hold 30 minutes to an hour after open. My next target here is 327 and 330. Notice that this line correlates to this sell-off over here, and again, any line above is resistance. So you could say that the QQQ is opening up into resistance. Just to be careful, this is a great area to trim. Now yesterday, our Q positions, we did look at trimming at close to 50%, and again, we have quite some time. We have 29 days. I am holding currently the 335 calls. To be very transparent, I also have what's called a debit spread to the downside just in case some sort of news were to come out. And the reason why I use 30 April is because I'm trading the FANG. All right, so instead of putting a lot of premium and other positions, I'm just trading through them by using the QQQ. Right here is that level I would expect if we were to have some sort of fall. So again, buying debit spreads here, super inexpensive, big payoff if it were to happen. But again, right now, I'm on cruise control as we move up here. Notice on the left, when I zoom in, we have all these topping wicks. This is selling pressure. This is where, basically you have the bears come in and they're like, nope, you're not getting over this level. This is a very important level. Take these wicks, draw yourself a line, find out if this is going to be resistance this time, or do we actually break that and start to trend up. So again, this in here is just some consolidation. We are starting to make higher lows, but we are on lower highs, which equals sideways. So although we are having fun in the market, you're making money on tech and so forth, just remember you are still sideways in the market on the QQQ. Let's go ahead and move into Apple. Give me 1 second here. All right, so AAPL, you could see, same thing. Made this really simple for everybody. We have a green box and a red box. Let me auto zoom here, sorry. Our Thinkorswim is just acting up just a little bit here before we open. All right, so here we are, green box or red box. All right, so overall, as I explained a little bit earlier, we want price to hold in here. You can see it came down into our green box. We drew this a long time ago. You want higher lows out of here, and this is our target. Again, the reason why we have lines between is because the market's not that easy, and this is to help coach and guide you from your journey from the green to the red. Lines above here are resistance, lines below are support. As we wake up here, notice one thing on Apple. We are absolutely sideways, folks. All right? Absolutely sideways. So, nice little bounce from my risk level that I gave my members, 118.77, and then we continue to look for price to move up. However, just like the QQQ, Apple is opening into what we would call the trendy edge or resistance. So just please take note of that. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden the market's going to fall hard. It just means if I were holding multiple positions in Apple, this is a great place to be trimming off of your profits from trading lower on the curve. See, this indicator down here told me to go long from my levels. And right here, this is telling me to trim into my levels. Just like the Qs, I'm waiting for price to move over, hold what was resistance is now support. I'm looking for the next move into 125.44. The bigger swing position, what I'd be looking for into the earnings, please pay attention to these on 428. I'm looking for about a 50% retrace of this entire move over here. Again, look at the left side of the screen. You could see this is my range. I'm looking for 50%. That puts me at my higher time frame trendy edge of at or around 129.11. As far as today is concerned, I would be looking for price to hold at around 122.75. And if we can break this resistance at around 123.70, I'm looking for a move towards 124.5. Anything more than that, again, 125.44. Let's go ahead and move into our next name, which is going to be Square. Current price is 232. This is my trade plan. Notice, once again, our indicator is set to go long. You go long, we're looking for a move into the lines above. I believe on this one we pulled our stops up at 225.41, looking for 235, 240, 246. Far as today is concerned, this level here at 225 is a cutoff for an intraday trade. I do like 0 DTE trades, dates till expiration. These are fun. They're meant to be fun. They're not meant to put a lot of money into, but the return could be very nice. Let me show you what my plan is on Square for today. I like to call these a beach trade, but today is a little chilly here in Florida. It's a little windy, and so I need to find something else to do besides go to the beach. All right, so we might be doing something else, not called a beach trade today. For some reason, if the market is opening into resistance and Square pulls back into these levels, I will be buying the strikes up here towards 235. Okay, and again, it depends on price. Typically 0 DTE trades, what I'm looking to pay is anywhere from 25 cents. Now this is really low, okay? Just so everybody understands, this is not my typical trade. I like to trade in the money when we're trending, and I'm fine with spending, you know, anywhere from $3 up to $10 to $11 per option for trending markets. But again, this is just a fun trade. If we come back into here, I'm looking for a move up to 235, potentially 240. And again, I'm looking to pay somewhere between 25 cents and under $1. Most of these trades for me, I'm okay if they go to 0. But what I do say is if they immediately come up about 35 to 50%, go ahead and place those stops underneath to keep yourself green. Just depends on the trader themselves, okay? So again, SQ. Let's go to the next one here. Is going to be TIGR, and this is starting to become a hot name. Now I'll tell you, we are in this trade. I've traded this thing since the beginning of the year, and I believe we started maybe in December trading TIGR. I think, if I'm correct here, it was close to December or January. It was right after. But their fundamentals are amazing. Okay, so we traded in and out, and then I said, you know, I just want to trade TIGR and hold it. So I have a separate account where I have my equity trades, and or for me, I'm holding this trade. I don't really want to give this trade up until I hit 100% at least, or until, you know, a couple years from now. So this is a long-term trade for me, and I just want to go over it for you for long-term and intraday. So far as the long term is concerned, this is a Fibonacci from the breakout. I want you to notice that price is at the 618 or the golden Fibonacci level. This is very important. Okay, we need to stay above that 1790. Notice that we're at 19. Nice little move up here. What you can expect is right underneath this base going to be resistance at or around 20.7. Okay. Notice over here on the right hand side, if you're just kind of having fun and intraday trading this or trading around a core position, then you can notice that we are once again coming into resistance on open. You're starting to see this trend that I'm showing you, that a lot of these names are opening up into resistance this morning. So for me, I love that we are trending up in a down range, but I'm interested in buying those dips to keep that up range going. Okay, so again, depending on how you're trading this, I'm long term, but intraday, I'd like to see support at or around 17.5, resistance at 20.07. Anything over 20.07 could move you quickly into at or around 21.75 to 22. Again, that's TIGR. TIGR. Now, also in FUBO, and this is up a little bit. There's a little bit of unusual option activity that came in. Just a few words of advice on unusual option activity. It's not a process. You have to have a process. You can use it, in my opinion, to give you an idea of where money may be flowing. But if you don't have a process, you can't just like trade something blindly. All right. So what you want to do is look at, hey, there's millions of dollars, there's sweeps coming in. I might be interested in this. And then you want to come over to your chart and then you want to look and say, okay, where is it? Is it somewhere that is important for me? All right. And so notice that I had this yellow box on here. This was just like a neutral area for me back in the day. And it's just kind of holding this level. As far as I'm concerned, FUBO is in a sideways pattern. It's starting to move. That's a bonus for my long-term position. But I'm looking to see if it can move up towards 29.71. This is going to be a huge level for FUBO. So have fun while it lasts. Again, 29.71. I'm looking at big resistance here. You can see the sell-off, the inside and down. If we can reclaim 29.71, I do believe FUBO has a big opportunity to move back towards 35 and 40. Overall, long term, if 1424 ever breaks, I believe that FUBO is broken in the interim. All right, so let's top this off. There was a little bit of catalyst out there on Microsoft. So we're going to go over some FANG names really quick. All right, and I just want you to look at a couple things. These things are important. Consolidation. So yes, you can get pumped up. You could have traded Microsoft from the lower trendy edge, which is what we teach here at Trendy Trading. I can't make this up. I wouldn't get up here and do this live if I were just making this up. So again, we train everybody and educate traders to take lower on the curve of the trendy edges, and you can see this has been a very nice move. You can also see that it is in a channel, that it is just chopping around, but also that the standard deviations are all basically the same size. Okay, this is not a two standard deviation. The two standard deviation will come outside of this or below this. So right now you are in a range. Selling premium outside of here is paying off, but again, you're opening close to resistance. Okay, so nothing really to get too excited about. Intraday trading, fun, make some money. Over here though, this is what I get excited about. This looks a lot like the QQQ or the NASDAQ. We have a rounding bottom coming off a higher time frame trendy edge. We are making lower highs, or sorry, higher lows, and we are making lower highs. So we could do something like this. The bigger trade, once again, is going to be once we break above here, show that we can hold it, and then my target for more of a swing approach is going to be around 243 and then possibly all-time highs. Okay, if you want an all-time high target, we're just going to take some Fibonacci extensions. I'm going to pick my edge. I'm going to come up here to the highs, double click, and you can see here I have 249, 252, 254, and so forth. All right, so that's Microsoft. Let's go ahead and go into Amazon. All right, now what we're looking for is 3160. So I'm not sure how today's going to end up. Is it going to be a huge bullish day? We'll find out probably about 30 minutes to an hour after we open. But one thing I will tell you, again, higher lows, lower highs, sideways trend. Look over here on the 4-hour to your right. You can see, once again, we're just kind of in a channel here. Nothing too exciting, but if you were to take the trade lower on the curve, it is very exciting as you push towards this trendy edge. That trendy edge is around 31.60, and you can see that price is close to 31.20. That's about another 40 bucks, not a big deal, right? But if we get that pullback like I was talking about, since we're opening up into a little bit of resistance, if we get it, it's a big if today. It is April Fool's, by the way, okay? It is April Fool's, so don't be fooled today. Be patient. If we pull back into this 30, probably around 3101, 3100 level, then I would be potentially buying towards this 3160 for a really nice surprise. And again, on daily expirations or 0 DTE. I'm not expecting a lot, but these are always fun to trade. We made 250%, 100 and something percent on multiple trades last Friday doing this as well. All right. So again, Amazon, I'd be looking for these levels in here around 3100 to 3090 to hold. If we pull back to there, I would expect a bounce, and we may see 3160. I'm noticing right now, I just need to come over here and give you one more line. It's going to be 3136, and then right here at around 3160. I want you to remember this. We'll come back towards the middle of the day, the end of the day, and I'll show you the reaction off of all these levels that I'm giving you. Let's go ahead and then go to Facebook. All right, so once again, we give you a green box, we give you a red box. This is the bigger picture. Over here is a smaller picture. Notice how price has moved from the green box into the red box, and here we are. As long as 291.11 holds, I'd expect price to move and continue towards 304.73. Notice, just like the rest of these, price has moved into resistance, and here it is right there at that yellow line, which is the trendy edge. So on open 30 minutes to an hour, let's see if we test this, make higher highs. Your next pivot, folks, around 299.88, very important level on Facebook. As far as support is concerned today, 294.25, and you possibly could see 304. Notice anytime I'm talking about support in an uptrending stock here, that is probably going to be your bounce area. Okay, so what you're looking for is price to come in here. I do have a signal there as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Netflix. Notice that we're up about $7. Notice also that I have a green box and a red box. One thing I want you to take into note is that we have not hit the red box yet. So there is some room here to move. As far as my lines are concerned, we're close to this next level of 530. If we can hold over that, we could see 536 to 537.87 today. Let's go ahead and move this right towards 537.21. I'm going to leave this one here for your viewing pleasure, and then we'll come back and take a look. Support 523. Again, looking for 530, possibly 537 if we do get that follow through. Let's go over here to the weekly, right there. All right, not very impressive. My concern about Netflix was just using a little bit of gut. I mean, it's moving, right, from the green box, but it's just the idea of, how many people are actually watching Netflix as we start to reopen in a lot of areas. I think that's really important. But, I've been a huge fan of Netflix since like 2000, and when you used to get the disc in the mailbox. So it's never going anywhere. It's going to be great. There's always going to be stories around reopening and so forth, but we do have earnings, so take that into consideration. Those earnings are coming in April the 20th, so very soon. All right, earnings right around the corner. If you didn't get to watch this Tuesday's the morning trend, please go back and watch that as well. Put these together. There's a lot of great information here that's helping you out. Notice that the channels are holding. If we break the channel, break the trendy edge. Again, looking for those targets to the upside. The swing target at the end of the day, 543 into about 547. Let's go ahead and get to finally look at Google. And again, the reason why I covered these FANGs at the end of the session is because everybody wants to know, what's FANG doing, right? Everyone's retail is just now catching on to, hey, everything's rotating into tech. You could come to Trendy Trading, and we forecasted this at this time already about a week and a half ago. And over this period, we specifically talked about money rotating into tech this week. So we were already prepared and looking forward to this. This was the blueprint for a Google trade. A couple things you could do. Iron condors here. You can see the box held for the put credits. So you're selling puts down here. And then you're looking for price to push up towards the call credit area. Once again, just like the the remainder of our FANG, it's just in a channel. It's choppy, and it's moving into the 2082, 2108 area. Not much to really talk about. I mean, it doesn't take too much to understand that these are standard deviations, folks. You can't make this stuff up. Look at this. Okay? Every one of these arrows looks like the other arrow. So if you're going to take a chance with Google, you take it down here, right? To the upside. Take it down here to the upside. This is the reason why we sell put credit spreads here. And then towards here is why you start selling spreads into the resistance. Again, today's title was about, does the market, is it trending? For the majority of the market, we're not actually trending. It's very interesting as the ETFs are looking at all-time highs, but a lot of these stocks have come off their highs and they're really just consolidating, in my opinion, for a bigger move. The bigger move comes out over this chop or under this chop. As far as this is concerned, this is still scalping short-term 1 to 3 day trades until we can break above here. Be careful out there. Pay attention to your skew, your P call, overall fear and greed. There are many different signs that I can show you to help you navigate this market. Come check us out at TrendyTrading.co. It's very inexpensive to get a lot of information, and I'll put my money where my mouth is. Our alerts are straight from my brokerage account. So in one fashion, it's not really an alert, it's just what I'm trading. And I'm 100% transparent. So come and check it out. See what I got to offer. I promise you will be satisfied. Have a great day.